Madume batho ba Afrika Borwa le lefatshe ka bophara. My name is Vich. This is Give It Tanzania Kasi podcast. Today I've got a guest, the first lady. The first lady of she's the lady of the moment.
I feel honored, actually. I feel very honored.
Oh, what made you to come? Like when I invited you, what made you to come in?
I actually love engaging in conversations to start with. I've been into radio, so I love this kind of setting.
Sure.
And now that I've always been the host, I wanted to be like, experience how it feels on the other side.
Opposite side.
Yeah. So I was like, nah, man, let me just take the opportunity. You never know what it will work for you.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, so happy Women's Month to you and
Thank you.
to all ladies around the world.
Gonna get a guest,
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I really appreciate it. I've been struggling, to be honest. To find a guest, a female guest.
Why is that? What seems to be the problem?
Maybe you must tell me why.
Well, I don't know. I think it's because of maybe the podcast is still new, maybe.
No?
Yeah.
Maybe. Are you not a pastor? Maybe you can bless it.
In silence.
Yeah.
They'll come.
So how do you expect, because we're saying how do you expect to be treated this month and beyond this month as a woman?
Beyond this month, I think what's more important would be being treated with respect, dignity as well, and also being protected as well, you know, from any kind of discrimination. You know, we are women, we're not supposed to be living in fear, man.
Sure.
And you know, it's really not an ideal place to live in SA. It's quite chaotic nowadays. So having to be in a safe space, to be protected from any kind of, I don't know, violence or whatever, then I think that would be appreciated a lot, personally. Yeah. Yeah,
so
man.
can you please introduce yourself to the viewers and then also make your signature that you used to do at the radio station?
I didn't really have a signature. I can't say I had a signature. But my name is Ramashapa.
Sure.
I was born and raised in Motong. I don't know if you know Motong.
That
side.
It's just that you know sometimes these names. Trouble FM. And then you will hear.
Oh, yeah. So I grew up in that state till I was like 13. Then I moved to Denron, where I got to like complete my late primary school days and also my secondary. So I'm just now, man. What you see is what you get. There's nothing fancy about me. I'm very down to earth, very bubbly. I love conversating. I love meeting new people. So yeah, that's just me in a nutshell.
Then what constitutes a good woman? The qualities that you can say, this lady, she's good. I
think it depends. You know, I think the definition will differ from one individual to another.
Sure.
But personally, I think a woman would be someone who treats herself with, you know, ultimate respect, you know, and also achieving or having to like go for whatever that your heart yearns for.
Sure.
And not even holding back because now I'm a woman, I'm afraid. Like just being yourself on a daily, appreciating yourself, you know, embracing your flaws as well. And biologically as well, like fulfilling your duties as a woman, you know. Biologically, you know what I'm talking about. So yeah, it will depend. It will vary from one individual to another, but it's just about living your life for the fullest.
Sure.
Yeah. And just being happy, I guess.
Since I heard you saying it's not safe to live in South Africa as a woman, then what is your thought about this gender-based violence? Do you think we are ready to fight this scourge, or we are not ready at all?
I don't know if we are ready or not, but I think it has been going on, you know, for the past few years. It has been there. Gender-based violence has been there. So I think from, or as a country, we're actually doing well in voicing ourselves out. Because back in the day, women would struggle in, you know, saying out loud, or I'm being abused by a certain individual. So I think as a country, we are actually doing way better in actually expressing ourselves and voicing ourselves out. At the same time, it's kind of disturbing, or the person that you might meet today would be someone to actually kill you the next day. You understand? And also, I've seen a very disturbing video recently, just now. Actually, I was on the phone on Facebook. There was this police woman. Behind the counter, and this lady was there to report. I don't know if
I've seen it, but I didn't entertain it on Facebook yesterday because sometimes I know people will do those things. The problem about our country, someone will just pull a stand. Just to get the viewers and the sympathizers, but I was not really interested because I thought I knew the video. But now I had to go and revisit the video so that I can see what's happening. What was happening on that video?
You know, the lady I think was there to report gender-based case, and you know, on the other side, the police woman was just so reluctant or relaxed rather, and that actually made me think, where are we supposed to go? You know, in case of emergencies, because now you get to the police station and you're told, I'm not working in that department today. So it's kind of disturbing. And as a lady, are we really safe? But personally, I think we are doing better, man, in expressing ourselves, and people are actually taking it more serious. And it's only with us women. It's not only with us, with men as well.
Because you know, even the setting in the police stations, you will find out, or these colleagues, the police, they're just sitting next to each other. Even if you want to report your case, you are just ashamed to say all what has happened. And then you are missing lots of critical, important aspects in that scene. So I think even the police station setting must change.
Confidentiality purpose, right? Because that's so important as well. And with men, I know it's Women's Month, but it's seen a lot with men. Men can't even go to the police station to report such a thing, because now when you do that in a public space, you're most likely to be
Did you see?
I saw the video.
That lady, she's a fighter.
It's not a laughing matter. But I feel like it's sad, really.
So what are you busy with in this institution?
What I'm busy with currently, I'm doing my practicals. I've been registered with the University of the North. I'm doing Bachelor of Psychology. And this is my final year.
Then how do you find yourself here? What's happening? Teach us. What's happening? Because I thought my perception was to say, this lady, she's a University of Limpopo student.
Yes, I am.
And what's happening? Okay.
I'm just currently doing my practicals. This is my final year. So I'm just doing my practicals around in the area. So I qualify. I was studying Bachelor of Psychology. It's quite different from Bachelor of Arts, by the way. It's quite. I had to emphasize that, because I think the two are two different courses. People are not even aware that we have Bachelor of Psychology. They only know about Bachelor of Arts under Psychology and Cream and whatever. So that's what I'm doing.
What has inspired you to study this course?
I think it takes me back to my primary days. I've always seen myself under the Faculty of Humanities. Maths and science, I was like, nah, man, I'm not gonna survive that side. But it takes me back. I actually grew up Kodenron. It's a very domesticated place. I was with friends who had a lot of domestic troubles, domestic concerns, and I think that was my driving factor. I can really change the situation. At first, I wanted to do social work, but with research and learning, I was like, psychology and social work, they actually align. It's just that psychology is more scientific related and that one is domesticated driven. So I was like, no, man, let me just do psychology. Let me just see what the course has for me, because I love reading, I love theory. So I think that's my biggest driving factor, being exposed to people with a lot of domestic problems. I needed to change that. I wanted to change that.
And then now, since you are a prospective a psychologist, a future psychologist. What is it that you want to change, or what is it that you want to fight with in this?
I think the biggest thing that I'd like to change is any stigma that is associated with psychology, therapy, and counseling. We still have a lot of people who think counseling it's not relevant, or it's not really I touchy anyone, especially when it comes to our male figures. But I think having to deal with stigma and also giving support wherever I can, you know, I might not actually reach out to a whole lot of people, but exactly where I am in my circle, in my corner, having to make a difference in, you know, intervening psychologically as well. And I think integrating media and psychology, I don't know how to go on about that, but I feel like it can be another way of, you know, a great collaboration in making people learn in a fun way. I don't know, fiction and psychology as well. So just integrate the two into a novel and let people read and enjoy learning about psychology.
Because what you are talking about, I don't think it's just the problem of black people. They don't believe in speaking out issues or engaging or just saying, hey, they don't deal with those things. How they approach things that are too different. Maybe, white people, they will go and say, I know I'm going to a psychologist and what. Now, if you can check, even in schools, we fail to get a social work.
That's another
it
problem.
Must be there.
Yeah. It's a challenge, really. I think the government is actually failing us in giving like support to the psychology world or the psychology field in particular. There's a lot that psychologists can do, registered counselors can do. But I feel like as important as this field is, it's not really taken serious. I don't know what could be the possible reasons, but we are being failed as a field.
No, you know, the problem, what I've noticed is that even the graduates of psychology, they don't, when they leave the institutions of higher learning, they don't go there and do union or the body, or they don't and then this thing to say politics, and I don't care about politics. Politics will always shape your life. Always.
Yeah, whether you participate or not.
Yeah, so like if you graduated, don't just say, I go to the office and come back, I go to my practice and come back. Just make sure that you engage where the decision is made. When the decisions are made in parliament or you must participate. When they call in busy, you must participate. When they call public participation, go there and raise it. Because even I don't know the difference between a psychologist and a social work. You understand? We just think it's just this fancy qualifications and professions, but really we don't know much about them. So beyond this stage of being a student, you must go and engage the public there.
Voice out concerns.
Because now if you can check, majority of people who studied LLB, education, Vela, they are too much in politics. And then you find that person being a future minister, and then he got to be appointed as a minister, and then I had issues when I was a student. I had this view that this is how things must be. So now I'm the one who's making these decisions. Then implement.
Fair enough.
So since you are saying you are doing practicals here, what are the challenges that the people come with at your practice or your...
Okay, I think because of the setting that I'm in a university setting, so we mostly face relationship problems. So they come there and you know, they vent out regarding relationship problems. What else? Family issues, man. Finances as well, you know. And as far as she has been failing for the past 3 years, and now she doesn't really know where to go financially. Financial struggles, childhood traumas, you know, trauma on its own. People face trauma on a daily basis. So I can say it's a lot, quite a lot of stuffs actually. And academics,
Because even when someone is not performing well, and as far as doesn't care if whether they want to check the roots of this problem, they just say, you didn't get 60% of your we're not going to fund you anymore. So I think even that thing is a problem on its own.
It's a very big problem because now one is from a very disadvantaged background. She was relying, or he was relying on NSFAS, and now when you get dropped, you can't be studying on an empty stomach. That's highly impossible. So it's a struggle, really, but we try to like intervene and, you know, help where we can.
Then how do you establish that since I've been having this person as my client, now I'm happy, that means she's okay? How do you get to that point? How do you see that?
How do I see that? I think it's just a matter of communication,
Sure.
you know, because when you first came here, you know what your problems are.
Sure.
You tell me, this is how I'm feeling. I can't see any progress. We
Sure.
work on what can be delaying the, you know, the healing and
Sure.
whatever. Even towards the end of, you know, the sessions and stuff,
Sure.
you can still tell, well, okay,
Sure.
this person came here depressed, you know, because physically you'd see when someone's depressed.
Sure.
So at later stage, you can see, oh, there's a difference here and there. And they can even tell you as well if they are coping. And if they are not coping, we opt for further intervention strategies.
Sure.
We refer them to maybe hospitals for psychiatry and stuff. So you would always know
Sure.
by communication, of course, and also observations as
Sure.
your clinical observations,
Sure.
of course. Yeah.
Because I
Yeah.
thought, because and it's just that I don't want to talk about this, but at some stage when I was doing my undergrad,
Yes.
we had an incident here at Res
Yes.
where someone just flew through a window from 3rd or 4th floor just because of a girlfriend, unfortunately. So it's not the issue of you guys. Now you do that.
Yeah, it goes both ways, man. It goes both
And then
ways.
it's a team from your side.
Even from our side. What do you mean?
You
Even
guys,
from our side, it
you
hurts.
guys let him go, you know.
What do you mean?
Serious, you know, sometimes, you know, even now when you are struggling about something, you know, if I call my mother, that one, she's a jiki child, something will happen, understand?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter the situation, even if she's going through a lot, you
She'll
won't
always
see
be
it.
there.
You won't see it. And it's like, mama, December, we didn't have anything. I say, Mara, your father, you will see the guy is disturbed.
Yeah.
So when you say, hey,
True.
say ababa,
As in Bogota. But that doesn't mean we don't get hurt. That doesn't mean we don't get hurt. It's just that maybe we have a great way of covering it, of not showing it,
Sure.
of just, you know, getting up by tinta and then
Sure.
But we are different. We
Sure.
actually receive trauma in different ways, or we cope with trauma differently.
Yeah.
For me, it can be it's
Sure.
fine.
Sure.
Akuthekela mshimane. You know?
Then
Yeah.
and then now as a future psychologist, how do you expect the government to be treating this profession? Because I heard you saying, God, they don't take us seriously.
Yeah. I think increased funding, man, you know, because it's not only in the workspace whereby we can say we are facing challenges.
Sure.
It starts here after having completed your degree, you want to vent into or get into master's program.
Sure.
It's quite difficult, you know, space is limited. I don't know if it's because of, you know, less institutions, because psychology is it's a very serious course.
Sure.
So thorough supervision is needed,
Sure.
and one can supervise 10 people. So I think that's also another factor that contributes to people not being able to get into masters.
Sure.
So I think greater institutions should be built, maybe, whereby further or more support will be given to, you know, students individually, whoever wants to venture into masters, you understand, or even further, you know, further their studies into
Sure.
PhD and whatsoever. And also support. I feel like maybe coming up with programs to offer psychological intervention starting or grade, you know, in primary school.
Sure.
Because I feel like some of this psychological problems that we face or we deal with, you know, when we grow and when people grow, they start back in primary school. So each school should maybe have a registered counselor or an educational psychologist to find out one go grade 4 you know, but you wonder if it go grade 4.
Sure.
So some of those issues as well that people or teachers face, I feel like more support from the government, especially when it comes to funding and actually expanding on, you know, the services as well, and collaborating with other, you know, multidisciplines as well, you know, to come up with solutions and support the community, I can say.
Because even now, how, like, as I put you I would say to a point that we foster a culture of visiting psychologists and social workers, black people.
But I think we're doing better, you know.
Now.
Yeah. I think we're doing better compared to like back in.
Maybe you are speaking about our generation, not our parents.
Yes, I'm speaking of generations, because our parents didn't believe in that. you know.
Sure.
But you know, evolution has actually exposed us to like having to know, oh, actually this helps, and our generation are are open, very much open to like, thank you,
sure,
open to counseling.
Let me open
thank
it for you.
Women's Month, the benefits, the benefits.
Yeah.
So I think as much as our parents, our black parents more especially, didn't really believe in such, we are doing better as the young generation into like accepting this issue.
So then now I want to go deep into this thing of psychology. I want to go deep. Very, very, very deep. So and I would say bipolar again, what constitutes bipolar, and then how do we diagnose someone or this guy is suffering from bipolar?
Okay, with bipolar, I think a whole lot of factors contributes to someone having bipolar. I'm talking about genetics. Maybe you find out someone from your family has got bipolar, you're most likely to inherit it. Stress or environmental factors, high levels of stress, not being able to like sleep, even sleeping disorders as well. You have got your financial stress, that such things, they contribute to one having bipolar. And when we talk about bipolar, it's just as a mental state whereby an individual has got abnormally like high fluctuations of moods. Sometimes they're very happy and instantly they would have like depressed moods. So you're not sure what we may be communicating like now and we're happy, and the next minute someone is changing. So it's just a fluctuation of moods, high moods and depressive moods. Yeah, not necessarily riafola, but we can actually manage it. Yes, we can manage it. We cognitive behavioral restructuring of your cognition, and also by giving the mood stabilizers as well. Psychiatry back for beliefs is just so that you can stabilize how you're feeling and everything. So I can't necessarily say it automatically shuts down, but it's actually manageable when treated right. Yeah.
Because I was then I would this person bipolar
like
unusual so king incident now more this person
fluctuation of moods, like you never know what this person. Okay, for instance, when someone has got like high moods, they're most likely to have this energy, like abnormal energy. Maybe it's only yes but today you're like right, you understand, and now you think maybe you know everything, and also you have got this thing you are just randomly getting into like high risk activities. You may think, alright, because I'm with you, let's go and have sex. You understand? You're just thinking irrationally. You're not thinking straight as well. Just doing things out of that certain mood as well.
Did you have such a boyfriend? Maybe you say, this guy.
Nah, I've never really been exposed to someone with bipolar.
Nah. How would you deal with him if he was your boyfriend? Maybe me being your boyfriend, and then you say, this person has a bipolar. Yeah,
I think educating yourself about bipolar would be the first thing, just so that you know what to do, and what not to do, what not to say to trigger the person. But also giving them support as well. And obviously referring them to like counseling for professional help. Just so that they can see things from, a professional perspective, so that they know, okay, when I feel this way, this is what I can do. If I feel like I don't want to sleep, because some they don't even want to sleep, they can spend days without sleeping. So we come up with strategies or ways to make sure that this person is actually forced to behave in a certain way, in a certain manner, if I may put it like that. So yeah, educating yourself about it is the first step, and also referring them to like relevant professional setting for help.
So I would say Momo too much about psychology. How can you define the PTSD?
PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder. With it has, maybe you have 2 years after experiencing a trauma, like 2 years after, 2 years or more after experiencing a certain
maybe I've
trauma.
been into a car accident.
Yes, and you still feel like you still have that traumatic event on you, even after 2 years. You can't get over that traumatic incident, you know. So it's just a state whereby an individual has experienced a traumatic event, and they keep on, you know, experiencing like symptoms like hallucinations or nightmares, you know, on that particular trauma. You can't get over the trauma particularly. Yeah, or you are avoiding certain spaces because of that trauma. Like you mentioned, a car accident. Now you don't want to drive. Now you don't want to even get in the car. So yeah, that's just on about that. It's just a post situation after experiencing.
So when I would do how long should it take someone to eradicate or mitigate this trauma? How long can it take one to just forget completely about the trauma, the incident? Yeah,
depends if you had like relevant counseling or psychological intervention. If not treated on the get-go, you know, if ever someone get to experience like trauma, we do what we call debriefing.
Debriefing.
Yes, immediately, or a few days, maybe a day or two after the trauma has happened, you gather those people around, they talk about the situation, their experiences, their emotions, their feelings, you know. So in that way, it's easier for one to heal from the situation. But if it goes unattended, that's when we're going to have an issue. Because now you're just that one individual with, you know, this trauma it has never dealt with, still have nightmares on it, you know, you're still scared of certain situations. So it depends, or when did the intervention take place? The sooner the better.
Oh, sometimes if they have been left unattended, maybe the damage will be too much.
Yes, it would be too much, actually, way too much.
So because when you psycho,
you know, black people and diagnosing without the DSM-5. So basically, when we say someone is a psycho, it's just that they are deviating from what seems to be normal. You know, they've lost touch with the reality. Maybe they're hallucinating. They've got delusions. They're just antisocial, maybe. Things that we are not or are already as normal as a society. So that's basically what we call a psycho. And you shouldn't call people psychos.
It's okay, fine. And then if you are a psycho, it's the issue of mind, or it's the issue of behavior, or the mood.
Mind, behavior, mood. Hence I'm saying what it can be, or this person, her moods are fluctuation. We're going back to what is it, bipolar. It's mood. And behavior, we have this person who's not actually behaving in accordance to the law. You know, like
he doesn't care.
He doesn't care.
The law.
Like you know, to an uptat. That's behavior as well. Hallucination. As well. Someone would say, psychology, and you're delusional. Believe yeah. So I think it's just emotions, you know, feelings, behavior, and
It teaches about the eating disorder, because with my guys, my cycle. But it's just that it can be disorder because we eat once a day. But we make sure that foundation is proper.
Dietitian, once a day, guys.
No, not really. I'm just saying in the morning we'll make sure that even if it's too low and chips, but we know it will last us until late. So and then even late we make sure that we eat proper. So I get about disorder, I get about too much, or it's just to eating too much.
It's just abnormal eating habits or emotions and feelings. Like what seems to be like abnormal.
Because now I would say because and not to me, it's abnormal, it's normal. So it's no longer eating disorder to me. You guys will be the one to say, this guy has a disorder. But from me, I'm fine.
No, sharp. Because it happens in various instances. You know, some people have got like self-esteem issues. It's seen anorexia nervosa. It's seen a lot in women who have like self-esteem issues. Someone would say, "Hey, I'm too fat," you know, and I'm tola, like a male, you know, wow. Because they don't want to like gain weight. They feel like it's another situation.
Like the fats, not the food, the content of the food.
They don't want the fat or the food to stay in. But you go for that time and then bad bush.
Sure.
Yes.
So when I was normal slice of bread, the amount to say this person is normal, is eating okay.
Yeah. I wouldn't know because I am not a dietitian. A dietitian would know how many calories you'd need per day. But I feel like some behaviors are learned. No. You know, so it's quite normal. Or some people would prefer to eat more calories than the others because of how they grew up or the nature of their situation. But some people, we have people by longoring, when stressed they eat excessively as well.
Sure.
You know, someone will longer stress or I need a tap of ice cream.
Sure.
I bet ice cream, you understand.
Sure.
So those are other situations. Some people eat a lot when they are overwhelmed under a specific stress condition and stuff. Yeah.
Tell us about this social and disruptive behavior or disorder. What is that?
Antisocial disorder. That's how I call it. Let's just think of Thabo Bester.
Sure.
Yeah. That's just someone who's actually deviating from social norms.
Sure.
Without remorse, you know.
Sure.
And it starts from childhood. People who are actually diagnosed with antisocial disorder, they have a history of conduct disorders.
Sure.
And when we talk about conduct disorder, we're talking about it's actually a disorder in kids or a condition in kids, sin in kids.
Sure.
For no reason. So it's but you know, this antisocial disruptive behavior, they are mostly likely to be diagnosed at a younger age with conduct disorder. They're just deviating from what seems to be like socially acceptable. Yes. Yeah.
Now, because I thought maybe, you know, sometimes people will even take this thing. They won't leave it like this. They will be touching things and what.
Yeah. And
sure. Now,
yeah, and
so I would say, who are at risk of having a mental issue?
Everyone.
Oh, you can say everyone.
Everyone, because factors vary.
Sure.
You know, people get mental health because of genetics. You know, because of environmental factors, because of age as well. Dementia, it's you know. So conduct disorder, so everyone. If you're highly stressed, you can't even work on your stress management techniques. You're most likely to get, you know, bipolar because we're now you know. So I think when I say everyone, I'm like everyone, because now you may find someone no longer conduct disorder but it's because of genetics as well. So basically everyone is at risk depending on the situation or the nature of the condition. Yes. We are at risk as well.
It's hereditary.
Yes, some are hereditary, some are environmental induced, or you can
developed.
Developed. Thank you. So it depends, hence I'm saying on the nature of the condition, the kind of condition that you have or mental illness that you have.
But no, I know you are not you are not yet professional. But why do we dream about it?
We dream because, you know, we've got 3 levels of mind. We have the subconscious, we've got the conscious, and we've got the unconscious.
Sure.
So basically, I'll just put in this in simpler terms.
Sure.
What happens is that during the day, your mind captures things, even the things that you're not aware of, and it stores them in the subconscious.
Sure.
All those things, they come back.
Yes. Sure.
Even in maybe in an accident, you may find or 2 years in a car accident, but anything.
Sure.
It's basically when your brain protects you from remembering those things. But if we actually stimulate that,
Sure.
you can actually remember all those things. I just forgot the name of the process.
Sure.
But the reason why we dream is just that your brain, always, it just brings back all those things that you've captured.
Because I know like okay fine, maybe at night to go in. And then
it happens. It's just basically what you've been through, what you have experienced through the day. Yeah. And I heard dreaming actually, especially in kids, it strengthens your mind, actually your brain.
Your thinking capacity.
Yes, not necessarily thinking capacity, but your brain as a whole. May find, or maybe if it's strengthened, assist you in memory, in perceptions, remembering things and stuff and everything. Yeah.
So just touch two disorders that we spoke about, and then tell me the solutions that we can apply. Let's speak about the issue of eating disorder.
Eating disorder.
And then even what another issue we spoke about?
The post-traumatic maybe. Okay, I think when it comes to eating disorder, consulting with a professional, because in therapy we have what we call cognitive CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy.
Sure.
Well, I don't do it, but psychologists do it. I'm not yet. But it helps with, reconstructing how you think.
Sure.
We help you see things from a different angle, from a different perspective.
Sure.
So it helps with you having to if maybe not okay, drinking or eating that ice cream today would help you. Maybe you think otherwise, you understand?
Sure.
And also consulting with, of course, for counseling would actually refer you to a nutritionalist or a dietitian to help you come up with a meal plan or healthy ways of eating and stuff. And when it comes to post-traumatic stress disorder, seek help, Some people just don't know what this person, because another defense mechanism or coping mechanism suppressing the situation. If ever maybe you have come or you have experienced a very traumatic experience, another coping mechanism is to just suppress the situation.
Sure.
If you have been exposed to a trauma, just don't numb the situation or minimize the severity of the situation. Go seek help.
Sure.
Go see a professional and talk about it. It helps. So I think counseling should help.
Mara, what's about Swabe? We are going to have a problem as black people. When we are still an infant, they, this strategy they apply.
Why do they do that though?
I don't know. They even block your nose so that you can open your mouth so that the food can go through.
Yeah.
So how do? But there is no way
that trauma.
No, I think, or even the issue of how we eat.
Yeah.
You think it's normal just because you've been through that stage.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you will find a mother beating, or let's say a parent beating a baby because she doesn't want to eat. You understand? So sometimes you just say, eating too much is normal. It's normal.
Yeah.
So do you think the issue of obesity comes through eating, or is just other issues? I know you are not a dietitian, but I think
I have an idea. I think yes, it actually comes from your eating habits. The reason why you're eating like this is because maybe growing up you were allowed to eat whatever. Hence, education is important.
Sure.
As a parent, you need to educate yourself on how meals should be prepared for your kids. Train them to eat in a certain way because it starts at home. The reason why people are obese these days, yes, some people it's hereditary. They got it from their late grandmothers and stuff. But I think we can do better as well as individuals. Educate ourselves ourselves on, the bad, effects obesity has on us, and how we can go on about deviating from obesity as well. You understand? So education is important. I must say it's upon us, because now that's our thing. We don't like, reading as much. But I think I'm grateful for TikTok, platforms like TikTok. It's easier for you to learn about certain issues. Or personally, I feel like,
because the problem with black people, even after let me speak about myself.
Yeah, sure.
When I'm on TikTok, if I see a video being long, sometimes I skip it. It doesn't matter how long or how important it is.
The information is.
You understand?
Yeah, we're
I just say, let me pass. And then, in teachings, you can't have 30 minutes clip and then expect people to grasp the information. Yeah, so sometimes it's about that. And then the issue of reading, I don't know what's happening with us. But if some people, they can read 2 pages on Facebook about a joke or a story, but in terms of books they won't.
Hence, I mentioned,
you can.
Hence, I mentioned earlier, one of my goals, or what I'd like to actually do different when it comes to like psychoeducation, is to integrate fiction and psychology as well, because we have people who fiction. Someone would tell you, Mark Zuckerberg, not Mark whatever, or Gazbale, Slelo, John MABEBA, because we're going to serious. But how about we integrate, or we make learning fun? You understand? Come up with a fictional story, and someone can actually learn about psychology through that particular story. Let's just make, learning fun. It doesn't have to be like boring. And I think that's why we hate learning, because it has always been like, go to page 2, read, go shuro discuss. It's boring and it's tiring as well.
Because I think how best we can deal with this thing of teaching, maybe the plays, the play and the bioscopes and what. Maybe you guys you must venture into that as opposed to books, because now I can even see it. These authors here, Slilo and SEANEGO.
Yes,
I think they're having a problem of breaking through the market
because people don't like reading.
And then another factor is that to have as a black author to find your book on the shelf,
it's highly
so do you think you will survive putting that on the shelf, because it must be bought and then read by many people?
It's worth trying. I can't say I wouldn't venture. I feel like it's what you sell that's important. I believe that when you make right connections, if you know the relevant people, I'm not saying it's gonna be easy. I know for sure it's not gonna be easy, but it's worth trying. It's worth trying and making great connections as well.
Fine. Now let's
networking.
I know you fed us more information about psychology, and thank you very much. Thank you. But now I want us to deal with the social issues. How best can we advise our young girls in the country, like to make sure that they are goal-orientated people? Because I see many young girls that are destroying their lives. Sometimes they just confuse enjoying your life with destroying your life.
True. That's definitely true. They say charity begins at home. The challenges, some of these issues, they start back at home. You find a mother, groovist control. How do you expect someone from that kind of a home to actually think what a life is? Because we consume things, and the things that we consume on a daily, they make who we are. You understand? So I think it's a very difficult aspect to actually advise on. But it starts from back home. I think parents as well are very much responsible for ensuring that kids, especially young women, actually see things from a very positive light. You understand? And it starts within yourself. Someone may motivate you like daily, day in, day out, but if you don't see, or if you don't really have that vision,
I think even the social media has an impact on us.
A very huge one. A very huge one.
Sometimes now what perception how I see these bottle girls, at the clubs, they will come with. I don't think I will allow my daughter or my girlfriend to do that, Shem.
It's.
But sometimes people think it's okay and whatnot, but I see I think then the buyer is objectifying those girls.
I think we're just normalizing wrong things as a country, actually. Yeah, we have this issue of normalizing things that are very wrong and justifying them anyhow. So in that case, social media has a way of ruining things. Relationship don't last because now you've seen a certain individual in media being bought a bouquet with 1,000 notes, and then you think that's the only way to show or prove love to your partner. So I think it's a very, because media is here to stay, you know, and what people consume on media, it's up to them. You can't say, oh well, you can't be watching SEANEGO or whatever. It's their choice, you understand? And when someone thinks Zodo Abantu is my role model, who are you to say no, you can have a better role model? It's a difficult one, really. A very difficult one.
And then yadi model, like someone are my role model, so you can have a say, because even social media is always, TikTok, it always give you the content that you usually spend much of your time on. So if you are against SEANEGO, you will see SEANEGO every day. That's how it is. It's a challenge, really, that young girls are actually falling into the trap. Because sorry to disturb you. So, but Mara Mbujim, what are the other professions that one can get in psychology? Because now, personally, I think, or if you are studying psychology, that means you are going to become a psychologist. There's no other profession you can venture into. Well, if you're studying psychology, it depends on what field you are in. You can either do industrial psychology, can do clinical psychology, we have forensic psychology, we have counseling psychology, educational psychologist. So it's either you work in an educational system or work in a forensic world or maybe in a hospital setting. It depends, honestly. Industrial, they work alongside with companies. You're just in the industrial world, you help people hire the best candidates, and so it's a big field, honestly, and I think we're still gonna have more different subfields that are gonna emerge from this whole thing. How does an alcohol affect our brain? Do you know anything about that? I don't know how exactly it affects your brain. Because sometimes people will just act spontaneous just because they are under influence of alcohol. Yeah, I think it's just what you consume. Because and then it's treating people differently. Someone will drink this certain bottle and then behave this way, and then another person. When it comes to alcohol, what I can say is we are a very addicted nation when it comes to alcohol, and it's how people justify drinking alcohol. People have got underlying issues that actually push them to indulging on alcoholic beverages. And it's sad to see young men, instead of voicing their concerns out, voicing what's eating them on the inside, going for a bottle of tequila or whatever. And it's how even we have platforms to show, or no, I bought the expensive alcohol bottle tonight. So it's a very, very disturbing issue. But honestly, scientifically, I don't know how it affects your brain. I really don't know how it affects your brain. But I know from where I'm at, people just use it as a coping strategy to mask their issues down. Now I want to ask to dive into the game. What game? We call it keep or release. Keep or release. What am I releasing? What am I keeping? Yeah, you will hear. It's just a game. Don't attach feelings. It's not personal. It's just a game. Okay. Yeah, and then this thing I'm unveiling this game with you today because you are the first lady to bless us. Guys, and then I really appreciate too much. I really appreciate that. Yeah, let's play. So here's the game, ne? Yeah. It's two names. And then you tell us or you release who and then why. Okay. Yeah. And then to keep you cannot tell us why you keep. It's okay. I just have to tell us why do you release the so and so. Yeah, sharp. Tell me here. Nicki Minaj and Beyonce. Hey.
Nicki Minaj and Beyonce.
Yeah.
I think I'd keep Beyonce and release Nicki Minaj. I've never really understood rap, ne?
Yeah.
Rap is just a foreign genre to my world.
Sure.
I can't even hear what they're saying. So
Sure.
I've never really gelled well with Nicki. Yeah, a few songs here and there, but I don't really like
Sure.
her because I don't really understand rap.
Oh, no, no, Gawanyana Strada.
Yeah,
Because Beyonce maybe
yeah,
she's married,
yeah, Nicki's
family
definitely
orientated.
so I never really understood her.
Yeah, like you do or Bob Marley.
Aren't those two different? Like the same, isn't it the same person?
No, that's
Lucky Dube
different.
and
Lucky
Bob
Dube was
Marley.
South African, and then
Bob Marley is
was,
from Jamaica,
yeah.
Yes, I think I'll just keep Lucky Dube
Sure.
and release Bob Marley.
Where do you release Bob Marley?
Because it's from Jamaica. Lucky Dube is from SA. Duh. Yeah.
Level Matters or Brenda Fast?
I'll keep Brenda Fassie and let go of Lebo. I both like them, but I don't know much of Lebo Matters' songs.
Sure.
I've always been Brenda Fassie's
Also,
girl.
Gudada.
I know the song. That's the only song that I know. Probably Lebo.
Sure.
Okay, Matt. Oh, sorry. I shouldn't have released that, but I don't know much of Lebo Matters' songs. Yeah.
Also, no, just because people are still playing Brenda Fast, then you get to be familiar with it.
Yes. Actually, my family used to play a lot of Brenda. So
are you Orlando parents or a kids?
I've always been an Orlando parents.
Why?
Because of peer pressure. Most of them really mabagabaga, and I'm not really a fan. And Yajiwa Chiefs these days.
Yoga or netball? Yoga or netball?
I'd go for yoga. I actually tried netball. It never worked out.
Sure.
And I've always been like chubby. So I would have like rather went for football. Yeah, instead of like netball. Yeah.
Why did you marry?
No, but I'm fit.
Oh,
yes.
Okay, no, I hear you. Housewife or independent wife?
I feel like all my life I've never really imagined myself being a stay-at-home mom or housewife.
Sure.
I've always saw myself doing something for myself, changing the world, making a difference where I can, and just doing what I love.
Sure.
So having to stay at home, it's definitely not gonna be my thing.
No? No, it's okay. Then what do you want to be remembered as when it's done?
When it's done.
It's either now, let's speak about now when you graduate, what do you want to be remembered as? And then even when it's done, when we died.
When I've done. Well, I think when it comes to like my graduation, I feel like I'd like to be remembered as someone who gave their all or their best. I'm that one individual who, in everything that I do, maybe that I don't understand in its particular mode or whatever, but I'll always do my best and give it my all. And generally in life, I'd like to be remembered as someone who's very much kind, who spreads love, and who enjoys life, man. I feel like there's more to life than just a degree, than money as well.
Are you partying? Do you party?
Not so often. I hardly party. Why is that question?
I know. I just thought
No, I hardly. The last time I went for groove was in April.
No, it's okay. No, thank you very much for coming.
Thank you so much for having me, man.
I'm really honored and I feel privileged today to have you here. You are the first lady, and then I hope you are not closing. You are not closing the door.
Absolutely not. Hence I mentioned when
invite these ladies to come.
Yeah.
Just what can you say to
guys,
these ladies?
This can be a very life-changing platform for you. Just come, have a conversation and see where it will do for you. Yeah, give a guy a chance, man. Just come and have fun.
Look at Mjolo.
He won't just Mjolo.
I agree, you said they must give me a chance.
Oh, he won't have a chance.
Thank you very much. I'm signing out. Para papo.